Hi everyone, Uncle Raymond here. Welcome to another new video. Today I'm going to review the Xiaomi Mi Curve Gaming Monitor 34-inch. I've been waiting to get this monitor for a long time after researching it on the internet, but wasn't able to get hold of a reasonably priced one. There was a shortage of stock for a period of time, and instead of paying less than $500 for it, Uncle Raymond really didn't want to spend more than $500 for this monitor. If you are unfamiliar with this monitor, this is basically a 34-inch ultra-wide VA panel monitor from Xiaomi. For under $500, the specs of this monitor are really quite impressive. It has a 21.9 aspect ratio, 3440 by 1440p resolution, 1500R curvature, 121% sRGB color gamut, 144Hz refresh rate, FreeSync Premium, and a 4 milliseconds response time. Setting up the monitor is really easy, but do be careful as the box is relatively big and heavy. Now the best way to do this is to assemble the monitor on the desk. First, open the box from the top and then flip it over and remove it. You can then lie the package flat on the desk and remove the cables, stand, and base. The monitor should be facing downwards after you remove the top half of the styrofoam box. Attaching the stand to the panel is very simple as it snaps into place very easily. The base can then be screwed onto the bottom of the stand. And so, the monitor is 90% assembled just like that, in less than 5 minutes. The back covers for hiding the input ports and cables are all magnetized, which snap into place easily. Just be careful when you're installing these covers and take note not to force these covers shut, especially if you're running multiple input cables. Uncle Raymond actually broke a couple of the tiny feet on one of these covers, but thankfully the magnets managed to hold the cover into place. With a 21:9 aspect ratio and 3440 by 1440p resolution, this WQHD curved display has about 30% more viewable real estate than a typical 16:9 display. Together with a 144Hz refresh rate and FreeSync Premium, it should be quite a decent gaming and content creation monitor, although some will grumble about its 4 milliseconds response time. I think Uncle Raymond will start to play some games too. Actually, with such a wide screen, work efficiency should increase since you would be able to open more windows and see different things at the same time. In fact, this monitor is able to display a single window, a left-right split screen, or picture-in-picture mode in various sizes if you utilize some of the multiple input ports. Speaking of which, this monitor has 2x HDMI 2.0, 2x DisplayPort 1.4 inputs, and a 3.5mm headphone output. In terms of physical size, it measures about 81 cm wide, 52 cm tall, and has a depth of about 24 cm. You can of course choose to use a VESA mount on the wall or a monitor arm. Although this is a China version, it doesn't really matter as everything is the same except the monitor menu by default is in Chinese. And the local seller should bundle a separate 3-pin power plug for you. And don't worry, Uncle Raymond's Chinese is quite good, and I'll teach you how to change the monitor menu's language later. According to some online reviews, the DisplayPort cable provided with the monitor isn't able to reach 144Hz refresh rate. However, this isn't true in Uncle Raymond's case, and I was able to reach 144Hz with the DisplayPort cable bundled with the monitor. It was only when I used an HDMI cable I was only able to reach a maximum refresh rate of 100Hz. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this monitor has a resolution of 3440 by 1440p and a refresh rate of 144Hz. However, do note that you need to install the correct graphics drivers for your own PC in order to achieve those settings. In Uncle Raymond's case, when I first hooked up the monitor to my mini PC, I was only seeing ridiculously wrong display settings of 1-bit color and 40Hz refresh rate. Since my mini PC is using the AMD Ryzen 5900HX, I went to AMD's website to download the correct drivers and other support files. Thereafter, the display was able to achieve the correct settings. Okay, back to the display menu mentioned earlier. The control buttons are at the right side behind the display. The larger button at the bottom is the on-off switch, while the 4 smaller buttons from top down correspond to OK, up, down, and return or exit. Pressing any of the smaller buttons will bring up the display menu. So if you are stuck with the Chinese language in the menu, just go to the display menu, scroll down to the bottommost setting, press OK, and the topmost sub-setting is for language. Since we are at the main settings menu, here is also where you can restore the display to factory settings, switch on FreeSync Premium, or select your monitor's audio source. Uncle Raymond doesn't care about the monitor's audio, as with any self-respecting gamer or PC user, he has a decent set of PC speakers. You may want to experiment with the other settings so that you can achieve the best performance or visual experience depending on your PC's hardware. Well, since this is a 21:9 aspect ratio display, watching videos in full screen on YouTube or other streaming services via a web browser can only display the video at 16:9. Don't worry, just search for a 21:9 aspect ratio extension your browser can use. Uncle Raymond is using Chrome and feels that the aspect ratio 21:9 extension is the best so far. I was finally able to tweak the display and the AMD Radeon's software settings to my liking. So now, I can watch videos in full screen on YouTube and various streaming services at 21:9 aspect ratio and without dark area smearing. So, here are some of the things I like about this monitor. Widescreen, curved display, high resolution and refresh rate. Height, tilt and swivel adjustments, although the movement isn't that smooth. Straightforward menu and controls. Price. At under $500, it is quite unbeatable. Overall build quality. While it is mostly plastic, it does have a nice and smooth finishing. Well, here are a couple of things I didn't like. Flimsy back covers. Actually, this is kind of my fault, as I was impatient and nearly broke one of them. While the menu controls are easy to use, it can be quite tricky to get the optimum settings, and it does take a little tinkering. In conclusion, for a little under $500, this Xiaomi monitor is a good option for anyone looking for a mid-range gaming monitor. While it may not have the best specs amongst its peers, it serves its function decently as a gaming and content creation monitor. I'll leave the links to this monitor in the video description below. If you are looking for something smaller than this 34-inch ultra-wide curved monitor, Xiaomi also has a 24 and 27-inch monitors that are also very reasonably priced. As always, thank you everyone for watching the video. Please remember to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so, and Uncle Raymond will see you in the next video.